kinds of stuff. TarylFixesAll.com. Pick yourself up something today, and there's your dinner.
Pterodactyl here. Today's video is going to be on this here Honda EV 5000X generator. Now it came in because the customer put a new carburetor on it and he still can't get it to run. And he's tried and tried and tried and he cannot get it to start with the new carburetor. Even though it has spark and it's got compression, when you spray a little starting fluid or put a little fuel in the throat of the carburetor, it'll run and die. So that's telling me it's not getting any fuel or it's got another issue. So, of course, the first thing I did was looked at the fuel. And of course, the fuel looks like it's old. Now, it's never good to store these generators with old fuel in them. If you're gonna do that, there's only one product that we found that actually stabilizes fuel, and that's Tri-G, which we sell in our online store. And if you don't think it works, check out our video on it. We'll post a little link where you can find a video where we've tested this stuff and it does work. But I think it's got more problems than just the fuel being old. So what I'm going to do to eliminate that as a problem is I'm going to hook up an auxiliary tank to it. Our own little side tank that we use a lot of times. Because normally, when we do generators here at the shop, we'll ask the customer what they're using it for. And if they're using it for emergency power, we usually drain all the gas out and give it back to them empty. But to make sure it runs properly, we hook up an auxiliary tank. Let me go get it. You may have seen us use this in our other videos. We also use this to test carburetors that we've repaired that people have brought into the shop because we want to make sure they're not leaking. We want to make sure they don't have a leaky needle and seat. So you can rig yourself up your own little auxiliary tank. So I'm going to tie this into the fuel system. I'm going to disconnect the hose from this tank, and I'm going to hook this tank in, and we're going to see if it'll start and run on its own. If it does, then it's just the fuel is bad. Oh, he put a new air filter in it. Okay, let me remove all this. I got to get me a 10 millimeter. Oh, there it is. I knew I had a 10 millimeter here. Oh, there's one on the back. Okay, the first thing I notice here is when he installed this carburetor, he doesn't have this choke hooked up right. So when you hook this up, this has got to be towards the back. There's that other nut I took off. Let me get this vent hose out of the way. He had this like this with this link tied into that. So this wasn't working right. This has got to be out. And this has got to be out when you go to put this together. Let me get that in there. It's a little tricky. Like that. So when this is out, it's out. When you push it in, it'll open. So he had this in the back like this. He had it like this, which is common. We see this all the time. Did you get that, Mr. Cameraman? You got a good shot of that? That's wrong. This has got to be out. All right. So now I need to step down that fuel line. So this, I got the gases off. Pull that fuel line off. Because this takes a different size, this Honda. This is 1/4 inch fuel line I got on here. See how it fits real loose. So I got to make a little sleeve. So I could put a little sleeve on there so this will fit tight. So let me get a piece of tubing to do that. Put that up for now. All right, here's a little piece of fuel line that I'm going to use as a sleeve. There we go. I'll turn that gas on. Now I got to hold this tight on there, and I don't want to put all that back on there because I want you to see. That's why I keep an assortment of all these little spacers that I've collected over the years. And they come in handy for times like now. Just to hold it tight. All right, so the fuel's on. And the engine switch is on. It's full of oil, so it's not the low oil shutdown, because I said it had spark. It'll just run and die. Let me choke it by hand. All right, I had that auto throttle was on. Let me try starting it again. Because as soon as I turned it off, it died out. So that's all it was. Old gas. He had old gas in it. So we just threw a new carburetor on, but didn't bother to get rid of the old fuel. But I'm going to pull the carburetor off anyway, just to make sure everything else is okay. Oh, I already see something already. Let me get this wire out of here. There we go. I'll just leave it like that. Well, look what we got here. I'm surprised it ran. He just stacked this gasket on top of the other one. Why did he do that? Because that hole in there doesn't even line up with that. But it did work. Let's hook it back up without that gasket on it and see what happens. I already took that sleeve out, didn't I? Put that sleeve back on there. As soon as I find it, what do I do, throw it away already? Alright, I took off that extra gasket that obviously came with the carburetor. I don't know why he stuck it on there. It was surging a little bit with that other gasket on there. And of course it's going to run a little different once we put the air filter and all that back on. So let me go ahead, put it all back together the way it's supposed to be. Well, it's probably going to run since I already ran that new gas in there. But we're going to start it anyway. Well, it runs good now. Well, I think most of his problem was not having that link hooked in there right. He wasn't getting it to choke. Plus, he had that auto throttle on. So that's probably why it was running and dying for him. And then I just gave it a little shot of starting fluid. And it ran and died for me, but I don't think it was choked enough to keep it running. I wasn't going to try to keep it running on starting fluid. So I'm going to add some of this 3G to this anyway. That tank is pretty full. I'm going to put about a ½ an ounce in there. And then we will bill it out, call the customer and get it back to them. Gotta get this thing back down in there. This little strainer. These things can be a pain. There we go. Well, there you have it, grass rats. That's typical repairs that come in. Somebody tries to do it themselves and they don't get something just exactly right when they put it back together, or they add too much. I've had them come in to where they've used this wrong gasket for the wrong model engine, because some of these kits will come with more than one gasket, and it didn't fit right on this manifold. I think I got one of these manifolds over here. I could show you. I think we had another video on a Honda generator where that was the case. Where they had the wrong gasket on here. Because it's got this channel. That's what that hole is for. And the manifold they had was a different one, and it was bigger. And they had a smaller carburetor on there. I'm pretty sure we did a video on it, and that's what it was. It wouldn't run either. I've had it to where they've taken this gasket here, the one that goes on there, and I've had it where they put it on here. They had them mixed up, and that made it where it wouldn't run. Well, there you have it, Grass Rats. Another one fixed at Grass Rat's Garage. So follow me with your generators on TikTok. TikTok, TikTok. Time's running out on TikTok. Yeah, we'll see. Facebook and Instagram, you can follow me there too. Follow me. Come on. Check out our web store. We got all kinds of stuff. Like this Podunk County t-shirt, because that's where we're from. Podunk County. Got all kinds of stuff there. There's something there for you. I know there is. You just got to go and check it out. There's something there you want or need. And as always, there's your dinner. Woo! There's your dinner! The customer just had a couple of little things mixed up. That's all it was. That gas did look pretty nasty though, but it ran on it. And that aftermarket carburetor, you know, those are hit or miss. But this one runs good. Shut that gas off for him. Yep. Got another one running. Bill it out. Call them up. Get it out of here. Bring in the next piece.